Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to paint jasmines by using wet and wet technique. Okay, let's get started. I picked this photo as reference photo, but as you see, it looks a little complicated, so I just pick some of them and set my own composition. First, wet the paper and apply the first layer, which is the lightest color. Mine is also yellow, but cadmium yellow, maple yellow, any kind of yellow I guess work here. Okay, I emphasize on the center of the flowers. I spatter yellow all over the paper. At the same time, I careful about those white areas on petals. The next color that I'm using is Prussian blue. Same thing, I spatter and apply Prussian blue all over the paper. And again, I'm careful about those white areas, and also I'm trying not to go over the yellow parts too much. Otherwise, I can make those yellow parts green by mixing Prussian blue with it. So I emphasize again on the center of the flowers by adding more also yellow. Now I'm trying to build up my painting with background, which I work with negative painting. So I use light green plus a little olive green, and also yellow ochre is a good one to mix with it. And I just with bigger strokes and with sword brush. Actually, you can use bigger round brush, but I prefer sword brush because it has a sharp point. Also, its body helps me to have bigger, wider strokes. So I add a little Van Dyke brown to it to have the variety in the background. With negative painting, I'm trying to separate the form of flowers from the background. And also I add a Prussian blue a little bit here and there because I want to have the variety of colors. But keep in your mind that we don't need a lot of variety of colors in watercolor. Try to keep your palette limited. Here I'm just trying to use the same color that I'm using all over the painting, and have circulation of colors. Like I add a little Prussian blue to the left side. Also, I have to apply this color to the bottom as well. Again, light green. I change the color for the background continuously. I mean, using the light green, dark green, even Van Dyke brown to have movement in the background. For small spaces between flowers, you can use round brush number 7 that I'm using here. Actually, it depends on the size of the paper. You can use a smaller one or bigger one. But mine is size 7. A lot orange. Mine is alizarin orange. Help to make those yellow parts light up. So I add a little alizarin orange to it. Cadmium orange is good too. I'm adding shades of color into the petals. As you know, white petals, they are not necessarily white because some part of them stand in shadows, and also it has a reflection of the surrounding colors. With random dots, I try to create stamens. The paper is still wet, but if you feel it's a kind of dry, you can add more water into your brush. Angled brushes help a lot. As you see, there are a lot of shadow inside the petal, so I need to add shadow into them, but not too much. A lot of touches would be enough. At the same time, I'm trying to keep the center in shape by adding shadow. Again, I'm adding dots for stamen, and also with fingernail you can remove those white areas in the center, or just keep them white. Okay, I'm going to exaggerate the shape of the flowers by adding more color into it. Now the paper is dry, so I need more water in my brush. With a neutral color, I just create depth in the center of the flower. Neutral color here could be neutral tint, or just adding those color that you used for the flowers, mixing them, and then you will get a neutral color, but add more water to it. So again, with negative painting, I'm trying to build up the shape of the petals. As you see, I'm working on this part, and with adding dark value, actually I do two things. One, creating depth, and also shape my petals. More water because the paper is dry now, and also I'm trying to fade the hard edges out. And as I told you, you need a variety of colors in the background. They are not supposed to be the same dark value. And also you can add colors of the flower, which could be orange, yellow, to the background. Sometimes I fade the edges by adding water to the paper, and sometimes you just can fade them out with spraying water with spray bottle. You can create more flowers by negative painting, even though you didn't sketch them from the beginning, but because watercolor is unpredictable and spontaneous, you can be creative and add more flowers to your painting. So I want to have few buds here at the bottom because I want to have perspective. I started from bigger flowers at the top, and then when it goes towards the bottom, they go smaller and smaller. So these buds will help to have better perspective and composition. Sometimes I angle the painting because I want to have better access to the left side petals in order to have better shape of petals. Negative painting plays a key role in watercolor because you cannot create light areas after you apply the dark colors, so you have to keep them. The lines and dots and small leaves help to have movement in your painting, which helps the result will be better. Van Dyke brown. You can mix it with a little neutral tint to have a darker value. Now I'm using Britain green. To show part of the leaves behind the flowers. Separating them from background. Of course, when you go out of the center, the dark value needs to be lighter in this case when you go out towards the sides of the painting. They are still dark, but not that much dark that we need in the center. If you add at least 3 shades of color in even those small buds, means that you will get three-dimensional buds in your painting. And you can spend time to build up your painting by doing details. Wash the edges, and hard lines should be washed out. These dark strokes could be shadow from surrounding or the shadow of flower itself. I'm washing the edge of this petal because I want to connect it to the background. So I keep it upside down to work on the top part. Now I have better view of those petals. You can make them smaller by adding dark value around them, but it's very hard to make them lighter. Just add a little dark value under each petal to make it pop out, and fade it with clean water, fade it out. You can create folded petals by adding dark value in some part of it, and then keep the upper part wider. So you can exaggerate it by adding more dark value to it. Okay, but by wetting this part, I'm trying to keep the bottom part of the painting out of the focal point. So it needs to be wet in order to have not harsh lines. And another reason is by wetting the paper, actually you are connecting the flowers to the background more, which we need in this part because it is out of the focal point. By negative painting, you can add more petals, random petals, because they are not complete flower. These petals are just a part of a flower that is in the background. And again, add a little shadow into the petals inside the flower. For make them warmer, I just add a little alizarin to them. Again, by negative painting, I'm trying to separate the buds from the background. So you can use mixed leftovers to have neutral color for background. Do not overdo this part, because this part, as I told you, is out of focal point. A few touches would be enough to show the shape of the flowers. Final touches would be few small little leaves and lines and dots around. I hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.